Well, hello there. How are you all doing tonight? Who is here with us tonight? I believe Yost is here. And Jandraloon. And Ribch is here. There are people here. I'm so excited. So welcome. I hope that you're all having a good Friday night. Kind of proud of myself. I remembered to finally unmute the microphone. Been one of those weeks again. But you know what? We're here. We're going to watch a movie. I will try not to talk over the dialogue. Who are we kidding? I'm going to make up the dialogue again because that's fun. Hope that you guys can hear me okay. I even remembered to change the title of the movie on the screen before I started streaming. So proud of myself. Let me turn the fan off because that's probably coming through and being annoying. Yeah, that cut down on some background noise. Let me turn the volume up on this. And we will go ahead and start our movie. Hello, friend. I hope that you are well. And this movie was made in 1946, and I believe it was filmed in India. So we should see some interesting sights and architecture. Get a bit of history. That is an elephant. It's a big elephant. I love elephants.
There certainly is quite a lot of excitement here in
Those are
Adelaide.
people.
That's just what I was thinking.
Yeah, rather provincial, but things are like that in the Far East. We'd better stay together in spite of what you see. The situation
I'm doing well. It's Friday, so I don't have to go to work for 2 days. That's always good.
In spite of the fact that they've done everything to quiet them.
And I have my 2 monitors set up now, which is going to make streaming a lot easier.
There's a revolution in the offing, and trouble between the natives and foreigners like us might just set it off.
Gene, I don't think we should stay here. There's trouble brewing.
Oh, don't worry. Whenever the natives are nervous, they always hold a parade to take their minds off their troubles.
I told you we shouldn't come here in the first place.
No matter what happens, I will not leave till I find out what happened to Greg.
I know how you feel, Gene. But the English and Americans are not very popular here just now.
Oh, look, there's the hotel where Greg stayed.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should throw parades every time things start to get scary. bothersome.
Good afternoon.
I don't know how long we're going to stay here. Colonel Jones and I are looking for someone.
Perhaps you can help us.
Yes, Miss Preston.
A young man, an American, about 25 years of age. Greg Jones, Colonel Jones's son. We know he left here on a safari about a month ago and didn't return.
Madam, I wish I could be of some help. There are many safaris leave from here.
Hello,
Searching
Ridge.
for a man in a country of this size, why, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Wayne, we've discussed this before, and we'll keep on searching until we find that
Where are
needle.
all the Indians? They hid them away.
Notice that little native girl?
Yes, I thought she seemed particularly interested.
Well, that's just what I was thinking.
Room 207, 211, 214, on your left.
Thank you.
Six.
Yes?
Sahib,
It's Alfred Hitchcock. The
a young
silhouette.
lady at a party here, seeking Greg Jones.
Detain the party.
Come in.
Well, I am Tandra. You're looking for a white man with lost safari?
Why, yes, Tandra, I am. I'm looking for the
Tundra
man
looks
I'm
very
engaged to
white
marry.
herself.
Greg Jones.
Moyo told me of lost safari and lone white man.
What?
My husband with many safaris. Last time,
Exactly. It's a very white Indian girl. And a very skinny tiger. What's that, Lassie? We need to run away? Damn. This is not the Jungle Book I remember.
Tandra, that may not have been Greg's safari. Would you bring your husband here so I could question him?
no, ma'am.
Tiger ate him.
Too much danger.
Here. I think I can make it worth your while.
Obviously you were poor. Take the money and do my bidding. The tiger only has one sound. He was only taught
because
one.
people take such a keen interest in them. It's like baseball or football.
He's not
in
a
our
very
country.
smart tiger.
The tug
He
of
only
war
learned
is
one
arranged
sound.
between two bull elephants, and the natives bet high on the outcome. Events like this are designed to keep their minds off of more troublesome matters. I can't
What the hell are
understand
they
why
doing
that
with
young
those
fool
elephants?
Wayne insists on going to the marketplace at a time like this, with all this unrest.
Why did Wayne have to go to the marketplace to rest?
I didn't say rest, I said unrest. He'll keep messing around until he gets us all into trouble.
It was a very limited soundboard. Hey, whoa.
Oh, come in.
This is Moyo. How do you do? He will be glad to tell you what he can. Perhaps you have a picture of the young man you are looking for.
Why, yes, I have.
He not in last safari, one before. They hunt elephant ivory, big tusks, so high.
Yes, yes, it
They
is that
first
much
go
of a
to
leap.
Freetown, then go to Kaibo in Africa. Listen, I tell you.
We demand different sounds.
And
native has just
There's
been
Alfred
killed
Hitchcock
in room
again.
207. You will notify the police at once.
One side.
Miss Preston in a room?
Yes, Sahib.
Thanks.
Well, it's a lucky thing no one heard that shot.
What happened here?
I don't know, but with all this native unrest, if the police ever get wind of this, there's going to be trouble. Their investigation may detain us here for a month.
Oh, we certainly can't be
it's too
helping the
late. The
police.
natives are rioting already.
One guy gets
Come on,
shot
let's get out of
and
here.
rioting
That's just what
happens.
I was thinking.
There's a clipper lying in a bay. If we hurry, we can make it.
Oh, but if we run away now, it'll only make matters worse. They'll follow us.
Let's risk that.
Well, the man just said the Great Safari went on to Africa, and we can't
Exactly.
afford to waste any more
The
time
tiger,
here. Are you
he
back?
did what he was
yes,
paid
yes,
for.
Well, then hurry. We'll meet you down in the lobby.
Minimum effort for minimum pay.
Let's go.
We were lucky to get out of the country without further trouble and to catch the clipper for Africa. We all felt encouraged as it seemed at last that we had picked up Greg's trail. After an
Yeah, some
uneventful
people died
flight, we
back there,
landed
but,
in Africa and caught the
fuck them.
riverboat and headed for Kaibo.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful
Checkmate,
trip.
Professor. Checkmate.
Some beautiful stock footage there.
Gene, when will you realize you're wasting your time in this search? Buoying yourself up
Yeah,
with
maybe
false
all
hopes?
movies are also about imperialism.
please.
We haven't found any
Greg
fetishes in
Worrell,
this
I'd have
one yet,
communicated
but
with you by
we
now.
got the imperialism going
That is,
on.
if we wanted to. And if he's dead, he's buried long ago. You'll never find any trace of him.
Wayne, it was your idea to come with us. Now, if you want to go back, go back.
Fine time to tell me that in the middle of nowhere with alligators and lions and savages all around me. Well, what's so funny, Colonel?
I think it was Horace Greeley who said there are times when it's more dangerous to go back than to go ahead.
Well, I'm not Horace Greeley. I think we all should go back.
Well, now you know what that means, even on a trolley car. It means go ahead.
Yep, them savages. Kaibo.
I just came from the commissioner's office, and he's going to help us all he can. But he won't allow us to go into the backcountry without a guide. And unfortunately, the only man available is Gary Lambert. And
I
he
hate
hates women.
Gary Lambert.
He hates women, huh?
He thinks they're a nuisance.
Oh, he does he? Don't you worry, I'll take care of that.
Missed one.
Good shooting, huh, Jimmy? 9 out of 10. Here, put up this new target.
Birdie.
on, Jim.
Don't shoot the Barbie.
Oh, hello, Commissioner.
Oh, hello, Gary. Still at your target, eh? Well, I'm going to send you somewhere where you'll need that good marksmanship. There's another confounded party arriving, and you got to help me with them.
Well, I knew there was a catch to your visit, but I didn't think you were allowing any more expeditions to start out while the natives are so upset.
Well, it's orders from the Home Office. Besides, there's a girl with him.
A girl, huh?
Yes.
Well, you can count me out. You mean to say you'd let another safari start out after what happened to the last one?
That's just the point, Gary. The man she's going to marry was with that last one, and she wants to find him.
Now, look, Commissioner, you know I'd do anything I could for you. But you ought to know by
That's
now
what
how
we
I
do.
feel about women on safaris. They always want things
Right,
impossible to
spend
get in the
everything to
jungle.
their will.
They're useless in emergencies. They're just added responsibility.
I know all that. Maybe if you just met this girl and talked to her, you might persuade her to give up the idea.
I don't want to meet her. I've never met one yet that wasn't a blasted nuisance.
She just happened to have a pistol and be Annie Oakley in disguise.
Miss Jean Preston, the young lady I was telling you about. Mr. Gary Lambert.
Well, Annie Oakley, when do we start?
Polish band come out to welcome us.
Did they know we were coming?
Yes, you're that important.
Hello, Mr. Lambert.
Oh, hello.
I've been looking for you. Is our safari ready?
Yes, I've got the boys and the supplies all lined up.
I certainly appreciate you going with us, even though you were against the whole idea. I understand you're having trouble getting a cook.
Yes, I've been trying to get Gabby to go along with us. He's about the best cook in these parts, but I haven't been able to get a word in edgewise. Why don't you come over to the general store with me and we'll talk to him together?
I'd love to.
You can shoot him if he won't come along.
Sailing out into the west. Out into the west as the sun goes down. Each thought on the woman who loved him best, and the children stood watching them out of the town. For men must work, and women must weep. And there's little to earn and many to keep, though the harbor bar be moaning. 3 wives sat up in the lighthouse tower, and they trimmed the lamp as the sun went down. They looked at the squall, and they looked at the shower. And the night rack came rolling up ragged and brown.
Hello, monkey.
3 corpses lay out on the shining sand in the morning gleam as the town went down. And the women are weeping and wringing their hands for those who will never come back to the town.
Well, he's just the light of the party.
For men must work, and women must weep, and the sooner it's over, the sooner to sleep, and goodbye to the bar and its morning.
Well, how about it, Gabby? You coming along as cook?
Well, I don't know. But to take up my story from where I left off, now let me see. Oh, yeah. After she throws the 5th rolling pin at me, I figure she don't like me. If that's the way she wants it, that's okay by me. The very next day, I ship out on the Pearl of Cape Town. For 5 years, then, I'm the best doggone sea cook on the whole Cape Coast.
But everybody knows that, Gabby. That's why you're here.
I never go ashore, though, never. So my wife don't catch me. By and by, I hear she's run away with some no account from the inland country, far, far away. So I'm a free man. But I don't get married no more. Oh, no. Now I got a cook. A cook's cook.
So now you don't have any trouble.
But I do.
He's making
That's
quite the
just
fashion
it.
Oh, but
statement.
Gabby, I don't feel that concerned you're going with us.
My cook. She don't like me to go away. She thinks I'm such a good boss.
Why don't you tell her to get a girlfriend to stay with her until you get back? Tell her you'll bring her messages and gifts from her people.
Well, that's a good idea. To tell the truth, I wouldn't mind a little trip myself. After all, if a cook is a cook, he's got to keep a cooking.
Supposing I talk to her, huh?
That's a good idea. You go right ahead and talk to her. You'll find her in back.
Okay.
What's the matter with you, Gabby? You know Matty
Either
can't
way,
speak
it
English.
does
Well,
look
it's just a
strange.
little
that his
joke on the
belt is up
lady.
so high.
Commissioner, I've been waiting for you.
Good. I was looking for you, too, Gary. To tell you the truth, Gary, I had 2 reasons to urge you to go on this trip. It wasn't only that the Home Office ordered me to look after this party.
What else?
This fella, Greg Jones, that Miss Preston is looking for, was sent out here on a mission. There's a contraband ring working somewhere in the back country, shipping out ivory. And it was his job to find and stop them.
I see.
We're just as anxious about this situation as the people who hold the concession. So you'll be doing me a great favor if you can get on the track of Greg Jones, or find out what happened to him.
I'll see what
I
I can
wonder
do.
if the bird
Yeah,
and the
sure.
monkey will fight.
Jimmy, go get the commissioner a match.
Even better yet, I hope the crow and the monkey decide to have a revolt.
Here you are, Commissioner.
That's a smart board you got, Gary.
Yeah, the accent is odd. It's like he's
Now,
trying
you
to
boys be careful of that stuff. I don't want it
fake
lost.
an
I've had
accent.
it a long
He isn't
time and I
quite
need
sure
it.
what accent he's
Oh,
going
you
for.
be a good boy. Don't make a monkey out of yourself. Don't you fight with Jimmy. Hmm?
Fight with Jimmy. Fight with Jimmy.
Well, Gabby's got his equipment ready. How about you, Colonel?
All ready?
Commissioner, are you sure these maps will get us where we're going?
Yes, sir.
I suppose he's got to go along.
The commissioner said quite definitely we can't go without him. Now, if he bothers you, you don't have to go. There's no reason for you to make this long, dangerous trek.
If you go, I'm going to look after you.
As you like.
Goodbye, Commissioner.
Goodbye, Gary, and have a nice trip.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Professor. Goodbye, Commissioner.
Goodbye.
take them 2 days to load our boats and get us ready for the safari.
Well, why don't you just pay them more money so they'll work twice as hard?
That, my dear, is the origin of all modern dancing.
Like fun. You should try it sometime, Colonel.
When they're small children, long bamboo shoots are forced into their flesh. The more pain they can bear, the more they are respected and admired.
Oh, what a beautiful sight.
This is the end of the river. There are the great falls of Africa.
Yes, but like many other beautiful things, it has its drawbacks. This is as far as we can go by boat.
Oh, you mean this is the end of the line?
You want a jungle. From here on, you've got it.
Yeah. Under you and around you. Civilization was now far behind us. Nothing serious had happened since Moya was killed, but we sensed that we were coming closer and closer to danger.
Yeah, someone was killed, but nothing serious has happened.
Simbala,
Shambhala,
we're going deep into the jungle. We need 40 good boys and 1 good head man.
always I give you what you want. I send Tonga, my best headman. But first we have welcome dances for you. Come now, you see.
The chief is very proud of his tribesmen and likes to show them off. It wouldn't be good policy to offend him.
And why a bar?
Professor, you're supposed to be interested in insects.
But you find them in the strangest places.
After the ceremony, the natives gathered in the marketplace where we bought the rest of our supplies, as we wouldn't reach another village until we'd arrived at our destination.
Animal fight! Animal fight!
Plenty big job to get 40 boy for you. They scared of voodoo.
Voodoo? I thought you were all over that business, Tonga.
Tongo no afraid for voodoo, but boy plenty afraid.
What's the voodoo this time? Just what are they afraid of?
White woman.
Well, I can't say as I blame them.
Pretty white woman, but bad. She's queen of the she-devils. Very pretty, but good native is afraid from her. White goddess.
Well, bless my soul, a white goddess in the jungle.
A white goddess, huh? She-devils.
Oh, no, you varmint. You varmint knocking down all my pots there. Now, who's going to pick them up, huh? Get in there, you.
Oh, now Little Monkey, you and the crow have to work
The
together.
sacred fire dance to bring us good luck on our journey.
Gary.
Did you just knock on a tent?
Gary.
Yeah?
There's something I wanted to talk to you about. These white women, Amazons, whatever you call them.
Amazons?
Uh-huh.
You don't really believe there's such creatures out here in the jungle, do you?
Well, I
Well, if it'll make you feel any better, we'll go see what Tonga has to say about it. Come on.
Didn't Tonga already talk
Tonga.
about it? What more does
I
he
want you
need
to tell
say?
us all you know about the white she-devils of the jungle.
Bad to talk. They know everything. They voodoo.
Tonga, tell us what you know of the white she-devils. Speak.
Long
He ain't a
time.
dog.
Long, long time. Big boat on the ocean, near mouth of river. Big water, high water.
And he wasn't until he met the actual she-devil
In big
herself
storm.
sitting in front of him. Now he's
Men
scared of
try
the
to
voodoo.
get in boat. Captain no let them.
Actually, I don't think he's scared of the
Only
voodoo. I
women
think he's just
fail.
scared of the Amazons.
Women make camp in jungle.
I don't know.
They she-devil you find now.
She-devils, Amazons. Why, I read that in Greek mythology. It sounds like a fairy tale.
No, there's plenty of fact in what Tonga says. That part of the jungle holds plenty of terror for those boys, or they wouldn't act up as they do.
Despite the warnings of Tonga about the white goddess, we started on our long trek, determined at all costs to bring our search to a successful conclusion.
I thought they were only taking 40 boys. It looks like an awful lot. Or maybe it is only 40. We could not count them all.
Innumerable obstacles seem to bar our progress. And there was
Yeah, they're in
danger all
Africa,
around
I
us.
think.
Even the monkeys jabbered as if to warn us.
It was 1946. People didn't have Google, so they could get away with this stuff.
He'll come back. He always does.
A telescope that can double as a baseball bat.
Do you need your magic
As free as the wind
They
blows.
certainly seem to be in a hurry.
They're in a hurry to run in slow motion.
Don't seem like company, do they?
Wallace, this is boy Bambo. He give me this. You look.
This is an American gold coin.
Why, that's Greg's. I gave it to him.
Are you sure?
Of course, he's worn it ever since I found it. See the date? 1921, his birthday.
Yes, that's right.
And
In
there's a square
1921,
cut in
they
it so we
only
could wear it
made
in
one
his
coin.
keychain.
Mambo, are you afraid of me? Ask him where he found this.
He say whitey man give it to him to bring to commissioner.
Oh, I'm sure we're on the right trail now. I'm sure of it.
Don't build your hopes too high, Gene. Tonga, we make camp here tonight. See what?
Angara!
Night after night as we made camp, our nerves were set on edge by a series of minor mishaps. It seemed as if an evil force were trying to impede our progress.
You seem troubled about something.
I didn't want to tell the others until I'd investigated further.
Yes?
This native boy confirms the voodoo that has our native carrier so badly frightened. I'm beginning to
Then
believe
there is a white woman, a she-devil.
Mambo says she's holding Greg prisoner.
Kitty. He just wants to be a friend. Obviously, you haven't seen the Circle of Life yet. Simba is your friend. Hey, you're a good shot, woman. Where's your gun?
Somebody come!
Gene, what's
Let's all just stand here and watch the lion kill
I'm
him.
gonna kill him!
Tonga, get back on quickly! Hurry, Tonga!
What are they doing?
Gary's fighting a lion! A lion? Hurry, Tonga! Good work, Wayne. That firebrand did the trick.
Gary!
Well, that's one I owe you, mister. I guess
Good
that
thing it
puts me
wasn't that
legend out.
tiger earlier, because that
But I'd
tiger,
rather it would've
man,
been
he took
anyone
out
else
a
but
guy
you.
pretty
I
fast.
didn't
That
do it
lion
because
was
I liked
slow.
Thanks, anyway.
Colonel, if my suspicions prove correct, I'll be able to tell you in the morning who's responsible for all our troubles.
What do you mean, Wade?
Well, I'm convinced that someone in the outfit is making every effort possible to keep us from reaching Greg.
Oh, that's nonsense. What could they have to gain?
That's just it. I don't know.
Well, who could it be, anyway? Not you or me, and certainly not Sheen. Couldn't be the professor here, or Gary.
I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
I know you'll think I'm running a fever when I tell you this. But that animal was wearing a collar around its neck.
Yeah, even the monkey don't believe that shit.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry I didn't...
That was
I'm sorry.
very
I'm sorry.
odd.
After what you've just been through, I can't help feeling jittery.
It's so
Oh,
obvious.
that's all right, Jean. Don't let it upset you.
I'm sorry I got you into this. Really, I am.
Don't blame yourself.
Yeah.
I had
Scary
other
doing
reasons
it.
for coming along other than seeing you through.
You had?
He wants that
A
she-devil
matter
of
of
his
$1 million
own.
a year that the government is losing on revenue, on the exportation of ivory out of this district.
You mean ivory runners?
Well, we call it contraband.
I knew Greg was here on some secret mission. Maybe it had something to do with this.
It had. Someone has been taking ivory out of here for years. The commissioner and I thought that by using the safari as a cover-up, we might be able to put our finger on the guilty ones. I haven't been able to tell you so far because, well, I didn't know how
That
far I
would be
could
a
trust
good
you.
twist.
All the time I thought, well, I sort of
What if he's
Sort of
been in
what?
contact with Greg?
thought you came on my account.
So he knows
Well,
that
he
Greg is
told me
making
you were
a boom
engaged to Greg.
with an Amazon.
I am?
So I naturally concluded that you were in love with him. You certainly wouldn't have started on this long search if you hadn't been.
We grew up together. I've known him all my life. I've never even thought of marrying anyone else but Greg.
Well, guess what,
Oh, I
Sunshine?
That doesn't mean I can't have friends, good friends.
Like Wayne, for instance?
Like friends with benefits.
Wayne's a friend.
Is that the way he wants it?
No, but I can't help that. I've made it quite clear to him many times that we could never be anything more. Why, even if I didn't love Greg, I couldn't care for Wayne.
How about me if you didn't love Greg?
What a strange question. I do love Greg.
But if you didn't?
How can I tell? Things would be different.
Yep, she just friend zoning
Can't be sure
everyone.
about me.
Why, I don't know. I've always thought Greg was the only one I could ever love that way or marry. I guess I had it fixed in my mind. Oh, you've got me so mixed up.
Have I?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Good night, Gary.
Good night, Jean.
That'd be a footprint.
Have you seen Wayne this morning?
Come to think of it, I haven't.
Gary, last night Wayne told me he'd won the confidence of Bombo, who told him he knows exactly where to find the white woman's encampment.
Gary
He
was just
promised to tell me
pretending
the
to hate
location
women.
this morning. Wanted time off to draw a map.
Well, that's very strange, Jean. Bombo refused to confide even in Tonga, yet he agreed to guide us there.
Welby! Welby! Welby!
Tonga!
Yes, well.
There's been a white man injured. Come on.
Oh God, not a white man injured.
Iko nakufa. Man is dead.
Wayne.
I think Gary did it.
footprint was meant to look like a native's, but it was made by a white man.
But surely that's impossible. How can you tell?
Whoever made that print was accustomed to wearing shoes. What bothers me, as far as we know, the only white men within miles of here are in this camp. And one of them's a murderer.
It is. I wasn't expecting a murder mystery. What if it's Greg? Greg is the one.
With heavy hearts, we continued our journey, missing
He's
Wayne
happy
100
with his
times a day.
Amazon. Hello, kitty. I kind of hope it is Greg. Greg don't want to be found, bitch.
Uh-oh. Locusts. Hunger. We'd better camp here tonight until the locusts have passed.
This bad place for Camp Guana. This lion country.
Anyhow, I think this is our best bet. Light fires tonight and keep a sharp lookout.
Azudi, Simba, 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 Simba!
It did seem we were having more than our share of bad luck. We ran into swarms of locusts, were attacked by animals, and now we were in the lion country, the land of Simba.
And Mufasa. And don't forget Scar.
Some foreboding of disaster had taken hold of Bombo. He still strode at the head of the safari, but his courage and confidence were fast disappearing.
That's Greg getting ready to kill him.
Was leading us to this white woman he spoke of. He alone had the directions.
Ah.
The day he confided those directions to Wayne, Wayne was killed. Evidently by a white man. Now Bombo is gone, and we have those footprints again.
Gary, it can't be much further. I don't know that, but I feel we're pretty close to what we're looking for. Please, let's go on, huh?
All right with you, gentlemen?
Yes.
Well, if we're all agreed, we'll go on. Although I admit it appears useless without Bombo.
Before we go, my men yet lion. They think lion killed Bombo.
It's a fine idea,
Yeah,
Tonga.
they're kind of right. The
Good luck to you
lion
and your
did
men.
kill him. Drop Bear! Hello, how are you, love?
Could not be pacified after Bombo's death until we allowed them to organize a lion hunt to avenge their lost leader. They donned their helmets made of lions' manes, their spears and shields, and after dancing tribute to their gods, scattered to round up the beasts of prey.
I'm glad you're okay.
Timber Hopper! Timber Hopper!
Success crowned their efforts. 5 man-eaters fell, pierced with avenging spears.
We're only going to show you one of them, but take our word for it. There were 5 that died.
Finally, we reached the elephant country, and we're nearing our goal. Somewhere close ahead of us was the forbidden territory, presided over by the dreaded white goddess and the savage tribes under her domination.
If I turn my profile, heaven help my nose.
Fix the gorilla's nose, Greg.
All right.
Greg is leaving happily with his Amazon.
I'm afraid you're getting tired of me, Greg, are you?
That's right, dear.
Are you making joke with me, Greg?
Well, why do you ask?
You seem restless, uneasy. Are you unhappy?
Of course not, Zita. I've never been happier than in my life.
What's going on here?
Zita, my dear, you're quite a queen.
Someone has to be boss, dear.
Well, I think we found a fetish at last in this film.
Greg, Tony's been hurt. It's a bullet wound. And bullet means stranger. Greg, you're angry with me because I've sent for information on that safari. That's it, isn't it?
No, of course that isn't it. I just want to stay here and meet these people. You know, Zita, it's been a long time since I've seen anybody from the outside.
But, Greg, we must be represented at the council meeting. That's more important. It's the only way we can keep the natives in line. And we just can't take any chances on being absent.
If that's what'll make you happy, I'll go.
I knew you would, darling. Tony, when that safari arrives, we'll handle it our own way. Without interference from anybody.
We'll kill them all.
And the natives reluctant to move on. Suddenly, out of the underbrush appeared 3 strangely painted warriors.
I don't know, this film seems to cut a lot, and I'm not sure if it's just a poor quality and parts of the film were lost, or they just cut out sections of the story. I don't know what council they're going to say, but there is supposed to be more than one she-devil, so
This is strange.
maybe it's the council
Those
meeting with the
natives
other
brought us a
she-devils.
message. 3 of your party may proceed to my camp, but only 3. You'll be guided by the bearer of this note. I promise you safe return. Zita. Well, I, for one, am going. Who are the other 2?
I feel it's my duty to go.
Thank you, Colonel.
I'm going too, of course.
Well, that's impossible, Jean. This may be an ambush. We don't know what we're getting into.
Yes, remember, my dear, it was here the last party was attacked and destroyed. It may be a trap.
You remain here with Tonga and the natives. They'll guard you until we return. And if we don't come back, they'll get you out safely.
I'm quite sure the professor won't mind staying behind with Conga to take back news in case something happens to us. No use. I've made up my mind. I'm going with you.
Come on, we need a cat fight between
This is
Jean
no
and
place
Zita.
for monkeys, Polo. Let's get out of here.
Oh, you are beautiful, Zeta. Just too beautiful.
Shuggy, a woman can never be too beautiful.
Oh. You know, I really think some of the girls are jealous of you.
They are?
Oh, but they all worship you, of course.
They aren't the only ones that worship you. Zeta, I'm leaving for a meeting of the council as you want me to. But before I go, I want you to promise me something.
Yes, Greg?
That you'll hold that safari here till I get back.
Of course, darling, if you want me to.
I do.
Attempting to enter my territory. Everyone in the jungle knows that strangers are not welcome here.
We've come to investigate a rumor that a certain safari was attacked near here, and all the members of its party were killed except one, whom you're holding prisoner.
My warriors resent strangers. They are determined to kill all who attempt to invade this country. If I had been informed in time, I might have been able to save the other members of the party you speak of. As for the one member I was able to save, he is no prisoner, but remains here of his own will.
In that case, we should be able to see him and hear this from his own lips.
Certainly. Come with me. Make yourself comfortable.
Well, thank you.
You must be tired after this long journey. Would you like to have some refreshments?
Oh, well, thank you. That'll be fine.
It totally won't be poisoned.
We have guests. Prepare food and refreshments.
Yes, Zeta.
I was explaining to Miss Preston that it was almost impossible to find Greg Jones in this jungle.
But Miss Preston wouldn't be convinced.
Not without first making every effort to find out if he's here.
So the sole reason for this safari was to find Greg Jones?
What other reason could there be?
To hunt wild beasts, to explore strange territories, perhaps in search of ivory. Men come into the jungle for all sorts of reasons. That is why, if we wish to remain in peace, we must set up barriers against them.
I see.
Well, I'm afraid we are imposing on you, forcing ourselves in here this way, but you can understand we were concerned about Greg.
Of course, Colonel, I understand. I tried to persuade Greg to return or send a message out, but he is very stubborn.
I know that.
And your visit, far from being an intrusion, I expected you and anticipated meeting you, both you and Miss Preston.
Really?
Oh, I assure you, Greg told me all about you.
Really?
Really.
Well, this is very enjoyable, but after all, my dear, we came here on a definite mission.
Yes. When do we see Greg?
He's representing me now at the Council of the Chiefs. It's extraordinary how he has managed to impress them in his short stay here. Already they acknowledge his authority and accept his domination.
Yes, he's a remarkable boy.
That's right, we have a bitch fight.
And so are you, my dear. Tell me, how did you manage
Especially
to
when Greg finally
acquire
gets
such
back.
a marvelous education here in the jungle?
I landed here as a child when the ship on which we were traveling foundered on the coast. My mother taught us children. She was a natural leader, so the others followed her. Now, they follow me.
And there are no white men here at all?
No white man has ever come into our territory until Greg came.
You're a white
we have
man
often
sitting
considered to
there.
invite desirable white settlers to come here, because many of our girls have reached a suitable age to marry.
Yes, so I see.
Do you mind, my dear? I've been saving for just such an event.
Not at all. May I have a few words with you? Alone.
You don't think Jean is in any danger?
What else can we do?
I sent Greg on an important mission, but he'll be back before you leave.
Yes, I know. I have no intention of leaving until he does get back.
You still think I'm holding him here against his will?
Well, Does seem likely, doesn't it?
It's what you prefer to believe, naturally. But it isn't true. The fact is that Greg has fallen in love with me, and I'm in love with him.
I'll believe that when I hear him tell it.
You don't suppose I'd be foolish enough to tell it if it weren't so, knowing that you're going to see him presently. I could have waited to let him tell you because I know he will. But I thought it better to settle it frankly between ourselves.
I don't see that there's anything to settle.
But Greg has promised to marry you. And men are stupid when bound by such promises. All I know is that he loves me. And if he were free, he'd marry me.
As far as his promise goes, don't think that I'd hold him for one instant if he really wanted to be free.
Do you really mean that? Honestly?
Of course I mean it.
I'm glad you're inclined to feel so sensible about it.
I would hate to have to kill you.
Because I would have had you killed rather than give him up. You see, here in the jungle, such things are very easily managed. And I'm not bound by the conventional laws of society that hamper you. Greg says I'm more than half savage. And maybe I am. All I know is that I'm willing to fight for what I want.
Yeah,
and
but
won't
Jean has a
stop
gun.
Short of anything to get it.
And Greg really means that much to you.
He really means that much. Don't make any mistake about it.
Shoot her.
Now that we understand each other, I don't see why we shouldn't be friends.
Why not?
This is an outrage. Put me down. I was minding my own business and this bug when I was picked up by these two women. I thought there was going to be trouble, so I got Tonga to lead me here. We avoided the natives all right, but then I found my precious Sozodora Telemida, and then these creatures overpowered me.
Take it easy, Boo.
It was the screenwriter that needed to pad things out. Therefore, a long conversation.
Now, what's this all about?
I see you worried about Miss Preston. I assure you she's quite safe.
That's why we're here, to make sure. Miss Preston is in my charge.
Of course, you became friends too during this long trek. You spent hours together. And the lonely nights in the jungle are somehow different than the nights you spend anywhere else. Conventional barriers cease to exist. You come close to one another.
Well, you seem to know an awful lot about this.
I lived here all my life. I know all about it.
I think you know all about a lot of things. I wish I knew some of them.
I'm sure you would.
In fact, I don't think there's very much happens in this jungle that you don't know about.
Not much. Your safari wasn't out 2 days when the jungle underground told me you were coming.
You know, you seem very friendly. I wonder just how friendly you are.
Why not put me to the test?
I will. I didn't come out here just to guide Miss Preston. I had an added reason.
Concerning the ivory.
That's right. And I want you to tell me the name of the leader of your organization.
Organization? What do you mean?
I think we understand each other.
He's running a
Contraband
jungle
ivory.
mafia.
You're asking for trouble, Mr. Lambert. The man is a...
Killer and a thief, and I came out here to get him.
Will you agree to give me out of it? Not even to mention where you got the information? If I tell you this killer's name?
Why not let me tell him? Need I go on, Mr. Lambert?
This doesn't make sense to me.
Didn't very clear to me either.
Gabby!
Down, Polo, down. I'm a little surprised, Zeta, that you would dissolve our partnership so abruptly.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a
yes.
surprise.
I've known about this Greg for some time, but I didn't think you'd sell me out for him. Lambert, I tried to stop you from coming here, not once, but several times. Tried to lose you in the jungle. And when Little Bomba was about to guide you here, I
Killed Little
took
Bomba.
care of him. Unfortunately for Wayne Monroe, he learned too much for his own good, and now you've all learned too much. It's too late for anyone to leave. Buda Omba, Lamberti Ari, Simasani, Ina Kamoba. My warriors will take care of you and your friends, Mr. Lambert.
That is true. We should have expected
ladies
it.
remain.
Anyone who wears his belt up that high is up to no good.
you fall down. Fall down? Why? Don't ask questions.
Just fell down.
Get some water, quick.
See what I did get? I haven't seen one of these in 30 years.
So you and your bugology.
My gun is jammed. Like we've got help. I'm going in the house after Jean. Cover me. All right.
Greg!
It's good to see you, Dad.
Sorry, I can't say the same for you, you young fool. You could have at least written us a letter and let us know you were alive. Not that I give a hang.
Oh, I did send word out several times. Somebody must have stopped my messengers.
Obviously,
Oh, by the way, this is his father.
Men must work and women must weep. And the sooner it's over, the sooner to sleep.
It really is. This is quite the mystery
dear.
movie.
Since you've lived by the ways of the jungle, I think it's only befitting that you should, shall we say, depart in the same manner.
No, no, no.
Time and tide wait for no man, my dear.
And I'm gonna throw everything on the walls at you until something actually kills you. So Gabby has really bad aim. Or really poor eyesight. Tell him, little monkey.
It's nothing. You saved my life and delivered me not only from that spear, but from something much more dreadful.
Marriage.
I'm grateful. I don't know how to thank you.
Looks like we got him on the run, Dad.
For men must work, and women must weep.
I don't know.
Professor, this is probably one of the first
Hopefully
double
we'll
wedding
find out,
ceremonies
but-
that has ever taken place in the jungle.
Oh, that's why the commissioner came last night.
He's gone now.
Isn't it wonderful?
Wonderful. It is. It is an Idiosandra propodora.
Looks like a spider to me.
That ivory's going in the right direction at last.
That completes my mission here.
Turns out they're just gonna. What if it's polygamy?
Wild night.
The tribe
You
practices
should see
polygamy.
one of our nightclubs.
It'll be a foursome. It was kind of a confusing movie. I mean, it was a decent movie. Just had a lot of twists and turns. But they were all happy in the end. That's what's important. It definitely had a lot of twists and turns in there. I did not expect it to be the cook. Yeah, there definitely should have been a conversation between them, but I guess, it was 1946. We don't discuss those things. The man has decided. That's all that matters. And it's like I said, the tribe was into polygamy, and they're going to be a foursome. And Jean got 2 husbands and a wife. Yep, those were the days. But that wasn't too bad of a movie. It was a good follow-up to Tarzan, I think. It was definitely, I don't know, like I said, I was not expecting a murder mystery movie. Yeah, I liked the movie too. I think that there was some important information cut out, but it wasn't a bad movie. I did kind of like that one. Maybe one of these days I'll do a marathon. We'll watch all of the movies. You missed some stuff in the beginning? Oh. What happened in the beginning? They were in India. Yeah, they were in India. They went to a hotel. Someone died and they ran away. And I still have no idea what that was all about. Yes, we all confused. We all missed some stuff. Because I still don't understand the significance of the guy in the hotel being shot and killed. I don't know who he was. Or why they would want him dead. I also don't know why they thought they were in the Amazon in Africa. But what do we know? We don't know if Gabby's dead. Well, yeah, because that Greg... I know Greg had been hunting... It wasn't poachers. They called it contraband with the ivory. That's what I'm, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it was supposed to be the Congo. I'm not sure. Yeah, because it's turned out to be quite the murder mystery. I really thought it was going to turn out to be Greg that was killing them all. I mean, I don't think there are... I wonder if there are Amazons in the Congo. Let us ask Google. Are there Amazons in Africa? Maybe. The Dahomey Amazons were all-female warrior tribe of West Africa. Well, there were Amazons in West Africa. Yeah, you were pretty accurate with your guess. Here, learn something. Learn something, my childrens. There were Amazons in West Africa. They were not white like they were in this movie, but there was a tribe of Amazons in West Africa. That is pretty cool. Unintentional educational stream. Well, now I want to know, let's see. Are there elephants? In the Amazon? Lions, elephants, and giraffes have been seen roaming the jungles of Latin America. Okay, it looks like this study, though, was talking about how children in Brazil misidentified animals. It says local children seem to have difficulty recognizing native animals. The most startling outcome was the types of animals the students believed live in the rainforest. When asked to name an animal from the Amazon, 32% of the students first named hippos and rhinos, which were closely followed by the lion and tiger before naming macaws, parrots, and toucans, the worldwide symbols of the Amazon. The elephant, the giraffe, and the bull were also mentioned before native species such as the pink river dolphin. That is sad. So I think the answer is no. Elephants aren't in the Amazon. Okay, what does Quora have to say? When humans first arrived in South America, the Amazon teemed with stegomastodons. They were relatives of modern elephants and would have looked very similar and performed a similar function in the ecosystem. They were hunted to extinction by the first humans in the rainforest, with the last dying about 6,000 years ago in Colombia. So there were elephants, but we killed them all. Listen, if you want your cat to be an elephant and you want it badly enough, it can be an elephant. No one's gonna stop you. River dolphin. Oh wow, they're actually pink. Pretty dolphins. Of course, there's some that are photoshopped too, but wow. I didn't know those were a thing either. Those are beautiful. What else do we want to learn about today? Oh, here I've got a bunch of things. Amazon rainforest. The dolphins are pink. Here, let me add a window and you can all look at what I am looking at on the Google. There we go. Aren't those beautiful? These are so pretty. So pretty. Okay, what else shall we learn about? Learn about, no, I didn't want to see the picture. The website, now just get out of images. Let us learn about the pink river dolphin. Or Boto is a freshwater dolphin that inhabits the waterways of the Amazon and Orinoco rivers in South America. It is the largest river dolphin species in the world. Can you imagine you're just floating down the river on a raft and here comes this dolphin? They are endangered to vulnerable. Another river dolphin species is the Tucuxi or gray dolphin. It is darker and smaller than the Boto with a shorter snout and a distinctive triangular dorsal fin. The Tucuxi is found in larger groups and unlike the Boto, jumps out of the water. Not only do you have giant dolphins in the river, they're going to jump out of the water at you. I mean, he looks pretty happy. He is a very chubby boy. I mean, would you question if it was a hallucination as the dolphin was heading towards you, or after it knocked you out and you woke up again? There's a video. I just watched a video. Just watch it on the YouTubes. That was pretty cool. They're so pretty. Okay, this looks cool. We're not gonna watch that. What else can we learn about them? Viewed by fishermen as an unwanted competitor for fish. Well, guess what, fisherman? The dolphin was there first. This is how every late night YouTube sesh starts. Yeah, probably. You start with one video, you leave it on autoplay, the next thing you know, you got into that side of YouTube. We all know that side of YouTube. What else can we Google? What other species are there? Whales and dolphins. It's a tough time to be a whale or dolphin. With human coastal populations and infrastructure growing at an exponential rate, and increased global demand for fisheries products and a rapidly expanding maritime transport industry, threats of entanglement in fishing gear, ship strikes, and habitat loss have never been more severe. It makes me so sad. Those poor little ocean babies. We have to save them. What is this? Is that another... Oh, is that the subreddit? Yeah, you can get into a weird side of YouTube if you just start clicking on videos in your recommended. Should we try that as an experiment? Should we try just randomly clicking videos on the recommended list? I mean, God knows what's going to recommend to you, to me. To us, but we can do it. Let's go back there. Let's go back to the pink dolphins. 5 Minute Crafts is weird. Let's go back to the pink dolphin video. Where's our video? Yeah, let's do it. Let's be brave. Okay, so here is our pink dolphin video. It's only a minute and 17 seconds, so we're gonna watch it again because the pink dolphins are pretty. No eating dolphins. Okay, now we're gonna look at, let's see what this is. Now I'm going to go full screen. Okay, that is cute. Aww. Yeah, if sometimes it gets the TOS, I'll stop it. It's not a big deal. You're welcome. Go, little birdie. Birds are not idiots. And they're probably smarter than a lot of people. 'Cause I know some people that would do that. Jump around with a paper towel. Hello, geesies. There's a smart duck.
Seriously not getting up. It is stuck? No, it's totally learning. It's got it in the rhythm now. Whoa!
Want her cracker? She's not gonna give it to you.
Don't shoot the ducks. Not bear. Don't shoot the duckies.
She likes to dunk it in the water.
That dog says, "God damn it, give it to me."
Do you think she's gonna give you the cracker? You want that, huh?
Yeah, they are good doggos. You be nice to the ducks. Okay, Ribs, we'll still be here. Watching videos.
Doesn't get a ton cooler than that.
That chicken is bigger than you, dog. Oh, how cool is that? I want little hummingbirds.
Oh, that's Flower. What in the heck are you doing in my kitchen? I went outside to do a few errands and chores, and I left the back door open. And someone let herself right up the stairs and into the kitchen.
Yeah, girls have to run away. Seagulls are assholes. So are geese. Aww. Go, little dude, go. Get off the road. only raccoons now. That should get us closer to down the bizarre path. I think it would get you closer to the path than the trash pandas. That's a good boy. He's doing his chores. Want to save him? Or bite his tail.
What are you doing? You're a fumble. You got come here, huh? See, look, what's a jump, man.
Yeah. Cats being dicks. Are huskies bad at catching things? I've never known one that even tried to. That dog was definitely bad at catching things. What did you do, Gus? What did you do? Such a naughty boy.
¡Ganamos, mono! ¡Gol!
어떻게 구멍난 가슴에 우리 추억이 흘러넘쳐.
Hi, baby. Thank you. Oh, yes.
Ay, Dios mío.
Ah, no.
봤자? 봤자?
Yes, we're done to watching animal videos now. There's just no hope for us. No, we didn't get a cat fight between Jane and the Amazon gal in the movie, so we're gonna get one here, one way or the other. Oh, you made a puppy. Oh, golden retrievers are so sweet. You should have just stayed and played all day. Screw responsibilities. Just play with the puppy.
Make more time.
Oh, my.
Big Kitty says hi.
Millie.
Who cares what the owner wanted? You needed playtime with the puppy. It's part of owning a dog like that. You have to let people play with it.
He's so smart. Oh my god.
그냥 허탈하게 웃으며
Aw, kitty butts. This might be violating the TOS. I don't know. Oh god, you look so sad. I'm sorry, little kitty. That is very true. Puppy and kitty vids are the best. Aww. Okay, let's see what will we look at next. Oh, that's right, I put it on autoplay. Okay, we'll still be here. We're not going anywhere, Drop Bear. I promise you.
Oh. Oh.
And we could find the weird side of animal videos. Aww.
Where are we going to eat, honey?
It's your Emporio.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it, Tater. That's it, Tater. You got it. You got it. Oh my God. Oh boy. Come on.
That's just a big kitty.
Butter, lay
Yeah,
down.
they might have those videos in YouTube. It's surprising the things that are still on YouTube.
Right there, do you ring it?
Oh, look at that face.
I got the video.
Chloe.
Bella. Go.
You can do it, kitty.
Someone is helping me.
We're going in here. Come on.
No, it didn't look very comfortable at all for that animal. A poor kitty. Yeah, my cats were always afraid of vacuum cleaners too. Hey Mig Max, we are looking at animal videos on YouTube.
You love that bag.
How you doing tonight, Mig Max? Oh, look at the baby. Yeah, why not? We watched a movie and we wanted to see if there were Amazons in the Congo, and it turns out there are, and that led to pink dolphins, and that led to this.
Oh.
You're wondering if there's a goal? Well, in theory, we were gonna see if we could get to the dark side of YouTube. You know, that weird side when you leave the autoplay on. But, yeah, there's so many animal videos on YouTube that I don't... As Yo said, I don't think we'll get to the weird side from here. But it is fun. That's right, I keep watching We All Win.
Who's your best friend? Who's your best friend? Who's your best friend? Abby, who's your best friend? Oh, good girls.
Come on. Come on out. Nobody's gonna laugh at you. You gonna come out? Come out of the trees?
You don't like the cute animals?
Oh, come here. Come here, little ostrich. Come here, I'll grab it. Come here. Oh, God.
It's a blind ostrich.
Daddy, what do we do?
I'm done with animals. Okay. When this one ends, I will choose something else from this recommended list. That's cheating, McMax. No, we have to go off the recommended list. There are rules to this YouTube game. Oh, that's almost a doggy.
Okay, close your mouth, Maverick.
Четыре богатыря улеглись и спят. Дальше лететь. Я легали.
We just tend to make our own rules. I just made a rule. I made that rule. Yeah, that was too cute. Okay, so we need more dogs trained like this to shovel the snow.
Jeez, for real.
Oh my gosh, she's staring her down. Baggy is not taking any guff from Noe. What? Baggy! Baggy, abort! There's nothing to be gained, Baggy! Baggy! Will you stop?
Wait, you're too fast there. He's going the opposite of you. Daniel!
It's Turtle Cat. Yeah, it's not funny. It's adorable, but it's not funny.
Speak.
Let me see how much time this has left. It's got a while left. Okay, should we finish this video or should we abort? Yeah, the dog using the door was pretty cool. Abort. Anybody else got something to say about it? Do we abort or do we continue? Hello, Burb. Alright, we will abort.
Hey.
Come on. There we go. No, stop. Right. Let's see what else is in the recommended list. It could get us somewhere weird. No. Stop it, mouse. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a quick break too and grab something to drink, so by the time I get back, Jay should be back. So if you need to grab a drink or something, everybody, go do it. We'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes.
God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Woo. I'm going mainstream.
Alright guys, we are back. Let's see what video can possibly get us on our way. They're all animals. Okay, Kids Are Savage 4 it is. Black hole under the bed. Okay, let's search for black hole under the bed. The Black Hole Bed Edition. There we go. Flat Earth experiments. I don't think that would lead us to the weird side of YouTube, just the crazy side.
Is that the moon? Oh my gosh, no wonder it's been so dark lately. What is in here? It seems like a ton. A Wii remote? You gotta be kidding me. Where's this thing? It's my wallet. What the heck? Where is all this stuff coming? It's my suit, man. Oh my gosh, where did this come from? What? Oh man, I've been looking for something forever. My glove. Man, I've been looking at that for years. What the heck? How did
Yeah, a lot of flat earthers, they cling to it because they don't want to admit that their beliefs might be wrong. And a lot of times it does have to do more with their beliefs than with any actual evidence. Which there is no evidence for a flat earth.
Man, I think that's part of BB-8. Looks like a bomb. But I don't know, it's probably not a bomb. Okay.
And we're back to animals. I tried. I tried the black hole under the bed. It took us back to animal videos. Okay, what are you doing? Let's see what else we can get. See, we watch too many animal videos. Drop bear. It's a secret. That's why we tell everyone. We tell everyone that it's round because we can't let them know. Oh, Emily. I was watching them with you guys, so. I'm not watching an episode of Mr. Bean. We'll try this one. I mean, otherwise we can watch some 5-minute craft videos. incognito. Incognito window. And now I have to change my source to stop it to the incognito window. If I can remember which window I'm even using. No. I think this is it. Okay, I have to go somewhere with it. Let's see if I go to youtube.com. Will it let me pick up the window? We're gonna be spies. It will not let me. It will not pick up an incognito window. Alright, what if I hide this window and I add another one? Because what the hell, you can never have too many sources. Source, new source. There. There, we're gonna go the dirty side of YouTube and go in incognito. So they won't know we're there. Where the hell did that source even go? Wait. God, what did I do? Oh, okay. I see what I did. I put my window behind my background. Because I'm smart like that. Alright, so. Since we've got our fresh new incognito window. Should we click on a trending video? Or should we try doing the black hole under the bed again? Oh, 40-year-old as seen on TV, gizmos tested. That should take us somewhere weird, right? Type weird. We're already headed to the weird side of YouTube. Trending science. And so do we want the recent science discoveries from 2 years ago, or the lies we were taught about science, also from 2 years ago? I like this one, how they're like there's really a baby in an egg. Or we can learn about marijuana. The first one? Okay. Okay, so we're going for the first one or we're going for weed? I need a consensus, people. Alright, recent science discoveries it is.
Saving money with Groupon is crazy simple. I can buy all my beauty appointments even when my hands
But
are busy.
Groupon really is weird. My ad blocker doesn't work.
15 recent science discoveries you won't believe.
No, I don't want YouTube
Number
Premium.
15, another planet in our solar system. In September 2015, a group of international scientists discovered what appears to be a new dwarf planet orbiting the sun at the edge of our solar system. The scientists named the planet RR245, and it is approximately
I'm
twice
leading
as far
us.
as
You're gonna
Neptune
learn.
is
Watch
from the
this
sun.
video and learn shit.
RR245 takes 120 times longer to make a single revolution around the sun than
Yeah,
Earth
for some
does.
reason,
It is
I
not
have
yet
ad
known
blocker
how large
plus,
the
but it won't
planet
work
is
in
or its
incognito
chemical
mode.
makeup, but this is an exciting discovery nonetheless. Number 14, medicine delivering nanomachines. Early in 2015, scientists, for the first time, delivered medicine in an animal via nanomachines. These microscopic machines traveled into the body of a mouse to inject nanoparticles of a medicine into its stomach lining. This may be a huge breakthrough in medical technology since the method was non-invasive and left the mouse unharmed.
it's better than
These
the channels
microscopic
that use
machines
in
might reduce the need for
the
invasive surgical
text-to-speech
procedures done on humans in the future.
Could try uBlock.
Number 13, epigenomes. Scientists have recently finished
Ooh,
reconstructing
that
the
looks
most
like
accurate
confetti.
map of the human epigenome thus
Pretty.
far. The epigenome is analogous to an instruction manual for our genome,
I will try
the bedrock
uBlock.
of human existence.
I'll give
It
them
is
a try.
important to understand our genome's instructions so that scientists can make further discoveries about genome expression. Without the epigenome, there is no telling what kind of catastrophe would befall the genome. Probably something similar to an orchestra without a conductor. Number 12, antibodies. In February 2015, scientists synthesized a protein antibody
Okay,
capable
you
of
can
supporting
lurk.
the immune system
Have
of
fun
monkeys
lurking.
against HIV. Despite having been injected with
I hope we
large
get somewhere
doses of the
weird
virus,
before I have to
poor
go to
monkeys
bed.
were able to avert the disastrous effects of HIV because of this new medical development. The efficacy of antibodies to fight HIV have been proven successful in this case, and human trials are sure to begin shortly. Number 11, ancient replicators. In early 2016, researchers discovered the first single-celled molecule that may have been responsible for ancient cell division approximately 800 million years
Yeah,
ago.
at some point
this
I have to go to
single-celled
bed.
organism, named GKPID, was capable of self-replication, a process
It's
that
only
divides
11.
the
I
original
have-
organism into an identical one with the same chromosome set.
Well, I
this
have to-
discovery
I
may
have
be
to take
important
car
in
in really
tracing the
early tomorrow
ancestry
to
of
get a
all
part
life
put
found
in.
on Earth today.
So that I can still drive around.
Number 10, glass storage.
And I
Scientists
don't
at
really wanna,
London's
like,
University of
crash
Southampton
because I
have
have
recently
sleep.
devised a technique for storing 360 terabytes of data. The data can last at least 13 billion years. The device is made from a synthetically structured nanoglass, making for a vast storage space about the size of a US quarter. The method is called 5-dimensional data storage and can encode any information imprinted on it. Say goodbye to flash drives. Number 9, synthetic
Yeah, in
leaves.
about 2 days.
In January of
Yeah, my boss would
2015,
like it
a
if I could
student
make
at
it
the
to work.
Royal College of Art in London developed the first ever man-made leaf. The leaf is made from silk proteins and functions much like a regular leaf. Engineers at the Silk Leaf Project incorporate chloroplasts from real leaves to reproduce the effect of photosynthesis in their product. Although the idea is still in
Plus, I want to talk
infancy,
to you about
this
tomorrow about
prosthetic
the
leaf could
magnetic
create
record in the
oxygen for
rocks. I want to do
astronauts
some
who will be
science
involved in
and
future
learn
deep
new
space
things.
explorations.
And I need to be awake for that.
Number 8, water on Mars. Good news! Scientists have finally discovered flowing water on Mars. NASA was able
Or
to
on
provide evidence of
Mars.
flowing water on Mars with the help of
There's
the
water on
MRO.
Mars.
NASA found what are called reoccurring slope lineae on the surface of the red planet. These slopes can only be
Feature
formed
is
by the
here.
ebb and flow of liquid streams, allowing scientists to deduce the existence of water on Mars' surface. NASA concluded, based on the irregularities of these slopes, that water on Mars does not flow consistently, but in intervals. Nevertheless, the discovery of flowing water on extraterrestrial planets is a pivotal step in our search for life beyond Earth. Number 7, new human species. Biologists all over the world were intrigued upon hearing the 2015 discovery of a new species of human, Homo naledi, allowing for an even clearer picture of our ancient ancestry. The findings were unveiled deep in an underground cave in South Africa and is considered one of the greatest collections of human remains ever unearthed. So far, it is known that this species of human grew to an average height of 5 feet and had a brain no larger than an orange. The way the bones in the South African cave were arranged suggests that these human ancestors ritualistically buried their dead, giving a scientist a glimpse into our cultural past. Number 6, Bionic Lens. While still in the testing stage, the founder of Ocumetrics Technology Corp may have stumbled upon a revolutionary technology that could augment the way humans perceive the world. A new bionic contact lens will give wearers the ability to see the world with stronger than 20/20 vision. Some subjects who have already tried the lens themselves claim that they not only see better than ever before, but have identified a unique spectrum of colors unfamiliar to the unaided eye. Is this perhaps the first step in a direction of a new era of superhumans? Number 5, harder than diamond. Scientists may have recently discovered a substance harder than diamond, Q-carbon. What gives diamonds their excellent hardness are the chemical bonds that hold them together. The carbons in the diamonds are held together by an incredibly tight chemical bond at the microscopic level, giving diamonds their prominent hardness. By the manipulation of carbon atoms, scientists were able to augment their chemical bonds, producing a material that is potentially 60 times harder than diamond. While this substance is still being experimented on, it is a potential prospect for the future of cheap, efficient technologies. Number 4, first mammals. Researchers from the University of Edinburgh have discovered an ancient species of mammals that survived the notorious extinction of the dinosaurs over 65 million years ago. The reason this find is so significant is that it gives us a glimpse at how mammals began to rule the world previously dominated by their cold-blooded counterparts. The mammal is thought to have been a plant eater, closely resembling a modern beaver. Once dinosaurs were eliminated, these beaver-like creatures began to flourish, given that they were no longer victims of dinosaur predators. Because these little guys were able to withstand the destruction that wreaked havoc on the dinosaurs, an array of mammals, including our ancestors, were finally able to leave their mark on the world.
Americans.
Number 3, whale gene mapping. Gene mapping is starting to look less like a theoretical nicety and more like an applied science with this new aquatic discovery. Scientists have finally discovered why bowhead whales are able to live to 200 years old by remapping their entire genome. By comparing the genome of the bowhead whales with the genome of other mammals with a less impressive lifespan, scientists were able to point out marked differences. Bowhead longevity is due to its gene's effectiveness in repairing gene deterioration, which is the cause of cancer and other ailments known to cut human life short. By further studying this animal's genes, scientists may be able to finally restore our own faulty genetic system, substantially lengthening our lives. Number 2, second Earth. NASA has recently confirmed their discovery of a possible Earth. Kepler 452b orbits the Sun in what scientists call the Goldilocks zone, which is the habitable region in space not too far or too close from the Sun, necessary for the possibility of life to flourish. The new planet appears to have a rocky surface as well as liquid water, which is another key ingredient for life to subsist. Although not much is known about if there is life beyond Earth, it makes sense to take notice of planets similar to our own.
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe
Yeah,
for
look,
new
this
videos
video
every
is
day.
2 years old, I
Number
think.
1,
So.
animal reanimation. Scientists have
It's
always
like
been
new
intrigued by the
2-year-old
prospect of
discoveries for
reanimating
us.
creatures that have been extinct for many years. While bringing a dinosaur back to life would be kind of cool, bringing a woolly mammoth back to life would be just as cool. And that is what scientists are trying to do. Because woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers have only been extinct for tens of thousands of years, unlike the millions of years dinosaurs have been extinct, intact DNA samples are much easier to find. Scientists believe it is possible to recreate these extinct beasts by cloning them with DNA and tissue samples, which have been found over the years preserved in ice.
Did you know that high blood sugar and diabetes symptoms have nothing to do with eating carbs or sugar? Recently, a doctor from Arizona has uncovered a beta cell secret for fighting the real cause of high blood sugar and
All right,
diminishing
what else shall
diabetes
we
symptoms.
watch?
He's created a short video presentation
Yeah,
that
they've been
reveals
talking
his
about it for a
research
long
in
time, it
full
seems
and
like.
shows a simple.
They've known this all along, but kept it secret.
2014.
Where'd it go?
Aerial archaeologists capture images of a strange-looking feature in the Jordan
No.
Valley.
Satellite images
I
of
will
a
pick
place
my
called Tel
videos, YouTube.
Hemmed in Jordan brought archaeologists to investigate the site.
Analysis of data from the site reveals something completely unexpected.
Turned out that it was a large slag.
Ooh, scientists couldn't believe their eyes when...
Ancient relics are not only a gateway to the past, but they may even hold the answers to some of the most exciting and outlandish legends that exist to this day. There are many people out there who are still looking for these answers. While some have never made it close, recently, there have been some findings that even modern science can't decipher. Do these discoveries actually lie within the canals of human history or beyond? You can decide as we reveal to you the 10 most mysterious artifacts. Mysterious Viking Sword. On a large island of
Aliens is
Zealand
the
in
answer to
eastern
everything.
Denmark, 2 amateur archaeologists were visiting and brought
You
along
found
their
some
metal
strange
detector
swords?
while going on a
Aliens
stroll
left
through a
them
field.
behind.
While on their treasure hunting adventure, their metal detector alarm went off and the two made a startling discovery.
I mean, everything on this
While
list
digging
can be
into the
explained
earth
as
about a foot
aliens.
down, they uncovered what appeared to be the end of a sword. Thinking it might be a discovery of considerable evidence, they decided to get an expert out there with them, reburied it, and then returned the next day with the museum inspector. Together, they unearthed an incredible, well-preserved sword that is around 3,000 years old, back to a time predating the Vikings by 1,000 years. The sword was so well preserved that you could see the fine details and it was still sharp. The interesting thing is that this sword has remained untouched since the Nordic Bronze Age, which was between 1100 to 900 BC. Turns out that this sword was more of a status symbol for its owner rather than a weapon of war. Still, it's a very cool find. Mysterious 13th century sword inscription.
Aliens did it.
This 13th century sword was discovered in 1825 at the bottom of Rhyther in Lincolnshire, and is believed that it must have belonged to a medieval knight. Little is known about the actual sword, including the 18-letter inscription running down the middle of the blade. Recently, the British Library, where the sword is currently on display, has reached out to the public in order to hopefully crowdsource an answer. And that answer varies greatly depending on who you ask. For word experts, they claim that the words are abbreviations and stand for something longer. Swordsmen, on the other hand, claim that it might have been an everyday sword, and that the inscription is in a weird place.
No, we can't
With
all
that,
just get
some
along.
think that it
'Cause
could be some
then
kind of
we wouldn't
serial
be
number
special.
showing when and where it was made.
We have
Some
to show our
Bible
dominance
conspiracy
over other
theorists
people.
say that when you add up the Roman numerical values in
And
the
the only way we can do
18-digit
that is
code,
by
it
killing them
equals
before they kill
1632,
us.
a symbolically significant number as it relates to the number 7. No one is sure what it means, but if you or someone you know has an idea, let us know
I'd
in the
say
comments.
whoever owned this sword, they got tired of it and they
ancient
decided to
Chinese
inscribe
sword.
shit on their sword.
The ancient sword that defied time. Some 50 years ago, a sword was discovered in a tomb in China. Despite being well over 2,000 years old, the sword, known as Gujian, was discovered without any rust on its blade and even drew blood from the archaeologists who touched the tip, meaning the
alien
sword
technology.
still had its edge. The blade was made with such high quality and detail that the sword did not seem to belong to its time. The sword of Gujian is one of the earliest known Jian swords, a double-edged straight sword used during the last 2,500 years in China. In folklore, these swords are known as gentlemen of weapons.
I don't know how
along
it
with
relates to the
staff,
number 7.
spear, and saber.
Numerology, probably.
The blade is 1.8 inches wide and measures 21.9 inches long.
1 plus 6
The hilt
is 7.
adds another 3.3 inches in overall length
Plus 2
and
is
weighs
9.
31 ounces.
Plus 3 is 12. So that
This
doesn't get us
relic
to
has
7.
been found to have significant historical value,
think they just pulled that out
many
of their
scholars
ass.
and smiths have wondered just how a blade could have survived 2 millennia in a humid environment without a speck of rust.
Aliens.
Researchers analyzed the bronze shards and found that the sword's resistance was a result of sulfation on its surface. Further testing also showed that the swordsmiths of Wu and Yu regions in southern China during the spring and autumn period reached such a high level of metallurgy that they were able to incorporate rust-proof alloys into their blades, helping them survive the ages relatively unblemished, a feat only known by the Far East at this time. The Spear of Destiny. In the Bible, the Holy Lance, known better as the Spear of Destiny, is...
I heard Arco has top-tier gas.
Where did you hear that?
Straight from the horse's mouth.
And it helps keep your engine.
the lance that pierced the side of Jesus while he was hung on the cross. There are many extra-biblical stories that speak of what happened to the spear afterward. And today, there are 3 to 4 major relics that have been discovered that claim to be parts of the Holy Lance. The Holy Lance that is preserved in Rome, but is missing its tip, sits beneath the dome of St. Peter's Basilica, although the Catholic Church makes no claim as to its authenticity. There is also a fully preserved Spear of Destiny in Vienna, Austria, in the Imperial Treasury, which was transferred over to the Worldly Treasure Room in the spring of 1796 as the French Revolution approached Nuremberg in Germany. There is one more Holy Lance preserved in the religious capital of Armenia, and a few claimed knockoffs in Krakow, Poland. But the only lance that has undergone testing is the one in Vienna, and although the metal is consistent with other findings, the connection to the time of the 1st century AD has been ruled out. Antikythera mechanism. This mechanism was found below 148 feet of water in the Antikythera shipwreck off Point Glyphadia on the Greek island
Definitely
of
Antikythera
aliens.
in 1901. At the time of its discovery, it was found with many other bronze and marble artifacts, and when excavated, the mechanism was dismissed as just another lump of corroded bronze and wood and went unnoticed for 2 years. Once archaeologist Valerio Stais started examining this lump, he noticed that there was a gear wheel embedded inside of it. Initially, he believed it must have been part of an astronomical clock, but other scholars thought it to be prochronistic, meaning that it was too advanced and complex to have been constructed during the same time period as the other artifacts, and current X-ray and gamma-ray images prove this. The Antikythera mechanism is considered to be the first known analog computer. It seems that its construction relied on astronomic and mathematical theories developed by Greek astronomers during the 2nd century BC, and
Definitely
has
aliens.
been estimated to have been built as early as the 1st century BC. Roman sword discovered off of Oak Island. Oak Island is just off the south shore of Nova Scotia, Canada, and it's rumored that the notorious pirate Captain Kidd's treasure was buried there. Other treasure hunters say that various religious artifacts, manuscripts,
These ads.
and even Marie Antoinette's jewels ending up on its eerie landscape. But recently, astonishing discoveries have been made on this island, such as this ancient Roman sword found in the shallows, suggesting that ancient European mariners had visited North America more than 1,000 years before Christopher Columbus.
Or it was aliens.
A shipwreck was found off the island, and within the wreck, a well-preserved Roman ceremonial sword was discovered. The sword has undergone various forms of analysis, including X-ray fluorescent testing, and has been verified by the Roman Antiques Authority as a gladiator ceremonial votive sword. The results found the same arsenic and lead signature in the metal of the sword, down to the atomic level of those found in other ancient Roman artifacts. Interestingly, the sword was
But this
also
isn't
found to have
news, no.
magnetic qualities, causing it to
No,
point
none of
true
this is
north, a
news.
navigational feature built into some of the swords of the era through the use of lodestones. There is a lot of skepticism to this discovery, as it was found by two brothers who not only own the island in partnership, but also have a TV show based on treasure hunting on the island. There was a lot of controversial story as to how the sword was found, and why it took a few decades for their discovery to be revealed.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know why
is
it would
for
be
real
such a
or
big deal
fake?
that
We'll let you decide.
a Roman sword was found there.
1,000-year-old Viking sword in extraordinary condition discovered in Ireland. At the historic site of the former Beamish and Crawford Brewery in
Basically,
Cork
the
City,
Vikings
Ireland,
are
a
aliens.
1,000-year-old Viking weaver's sword was discovered in pristine condition, an artifact that archaeologists say has
That would make sense,
exceptional
actually.
significance.
Vikings were
This sword
aliens.
is about 12 inches in length, features carved human faces, known as ringerike, a style of Viking art that dates back as far as the 11th century and is made exclusively out of yew trees. The sword appears to have been used primarily by women for day-to-day tasks, such as hammering threads into place on looms where the point end is for picking up the threads for pattern making. What makes this finding so significant for archaeologists is that for a long time, it was believed that Vikings primarily influenced Dublin and Waterford, but the entire array of evidence shows that Cork was in that same structural sphere, and its development was very similar. Of course, there have been many swords discovered that are perhaps older and may be in better condition, but none of them 1,000 years or older are exclusively made out of wood. Medieval sword pulled from Polish bog. It's hard to say what might have happened to this sword 600 years ago. Perhaps the knight fell into the water or simply dropped his sword into a peat-filled bog.
Aliens
Whatever the
took
case
it
may be,
and put
this
it there.
sword was found extremely well preserved nearly 2 years ago in the town of Hrubieszów, Poland, by a construction worker who was draining that exact same body of water. This two-handed weapon may have been typical for the 13th to the 14th century, but it is a unique find to this particular region. This region was part of the Kingdom of Poland in 1366, where a castle was built by a Polish governor, a castle that would have been a source of employment for knights. However, the location of the bog has not been disclosed. The sword, nearly 4 feet in length, would have weighed 3 pounds at the time it was made. No identity has been found of the previous owner, but an isosceles cross in the shape of a heraldic shield on the sword's rear bar serves as the mark of the blacksmith who forged the blade. The mark would have been covered by the hilt at the time. The sword has since been sent to Warsaw for further evaluation and renovation and is now on display in Hrubieszów. Thor's hammer discovered in Iceland. In Þjórsárvöllur, Iceland, a rare sandstone amulet was found in an unexplored area of a once Viking-era farmstead.
Just watch the
This is
video
the
and let
first
your
ever
brain go
amulet
dead.
found to be shaped like Thor's hammer in all of Iceland. And it wasn't the only item found at the site either. There was also
I
a
just can't believe they
whetstone,
won't admit
which
that
is
it's
used for
aliens.
sharpening blades, an iron pick, and a buckle. The hammer of Thor is an important symbol in ancient mythology. During the Viking era, miniature versions were worn as religious amulets to honor their deity. About 50 specimens of these amulets have been found throughout Scandinavia, where Norse gods were widely honored.
Snacking continues to be
How
one
about
of the most
the
robust
ads?
sources of growth in the packaged food industry overall. If we step back and think about what's driving it, it really starts
Between the 9th and 11th century. This hammer is depicted as one of the most fearsome and powerful weapons in existence, capable of leveling mountains and generating destructive and powerful storms. We hope you enjoyed this video. Tell us
I
in the
did
comments
not
which
enjoy
one
it.
of these was most interesting to you. And if you liked the video, please click the shiny red subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you'll be the first to know when a new video comes out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, claiming to be time travelers, that could get us to some weird shit.
We had a look at apparent time travelers over 2 years ago on this channel, and since then, I have been asked numerous times to revisit
Yeah,
the
it
topic.
was boring.
Up until now, however, I haven't had a reason to. But over the last few years, countless stories are starting to pop up of people who claim they are time travelers. Their stories are intriguing, bizarre, and at times hard to believe, but it's still worth taking a look at. So here are 5 people who claim to be time travelers. Number 1. In the 1920s, a Swiss teacher named Paul
Yeah, it was
Dietrich
just
went into a
stupid
coma
stuff.
for a year. When he woke up, he began writing diary
Not even
entries,
stuff
but
that
didn't
you could
tell
have good
anybody what they were
conspiracy
about.
theories
That
out
is
of.
until he contacted one of his students so that they could translate it. It was revealed that Paul's diary entries weren't normal at all. Instead, they were detailed accounts of a fascinating story. He claims that during his coma, he awoke in the year 3906 AD as a man named Andrew Northman, a famous physician who had also just woken up from a coma. Paul claims that their bodies must have switched somehow during both of their accidents, and also makes some interesting predictions about the future. He claims that Earth will colonize Mars in around 200 years, but a natural disaster will occur that will wipe out the 20 million people living on the planet. He also states that a global war will occur 100 years later, and that it will be devastating to the planet, but will eventually end in a union. This global union will lead to a huge improvement on the planet, and the quality of people's lives will increase drastically. These journal entries were surprisingly detailed, and it felt like Paul genuinely believed what he was writing. But what's more surprising than that is that he never wanted anybody to read them. It was only after he gave them to his student that the journals were released, and Paul's story was discovered. If it wasn't for that, he more than likely would have kept it to himself. It's obviously hard to believe that this actually happened, and that Paul spent a period of time 2,000 years in the future, but it is actually believable that he thought this happened. Obviously, we don't know for sure, but if his predictions come true, that would be a good sign that he was telling the truth. Number 2. In 2003, a computer programmer living in Iowa, known as Dave Hill, got a number of interesting emails. The messages were marked as spam, but they weren't your traditional junk emails. Instead, they were emails from a man named Bob White, offering $5,000 to whoever could get a number of bizarre items, including an AMD dimensional warp generator and a time transducing capacitator. Hill was obviously intrigued and responded to this email stating that he could get what White needed. He photoshopped an online store and even sent White a box containing an old motor that he stated was the warp generator. Hill wanted White to come clean and say that this was a joke, but he never did. Instead, he thanked him for sending him the parts and asked him to help him with obtaining more items. Dave decided to stop his charade when he realized how serious this man was being about his mission, and after these emails spread a little bit and gained some popularity, the man was identified as Robert J. Tadino, a man who was in his young 20s who truly wanted to travel through time. It's hard to tell if Tadino believed he was a time traveler or if he simply wanted to do it, because some of the emails are conflicting, with some of them saying that they are a time traveler from 2003 and others simply saying that they want to travel through time. Either way, Tadino claimed that he sent over 100 million messages, so it's probably both. He claimed that he was 100% serious and that his mental state was completely perfect, and at times that was easy to believe because he seemed quite rational, but it was later revealed that he had been diagnosed with a number of mental illnesses. It's difficult to tell how many emails were actually sent by Tadino and how many others were sent by random people who are also claiming to be time travelers, but this remains as one of the most interesting spam email stories of the last few decades. Number 3. In 2002, a French Catholic priest and writer known as Father Francois Brune wrote a book called The Vatican's New Mystery. In the book, Brune wrote about an Italian priest and scientist named Pellegrino Ernetti, who apparently built a machine with a team of scientists known as the Chronovisor. This machine was allegedly able to pick up the radioactive frequencies of past events and essentially recreate them in real time, meaning the viewer could watch these events unfold as they were happening. Ernetti himself has stated that he used this machine to view certain historic events, including a performance of a lost piece of work in Rome in 169 BC, and even the crucifixion of Christ himself. He even stated that he photographed Jesus, and that photo was apparently leaked in 1972. This claim has been doubted, however, because it heavily resembles a sculpture created around the same time. While Brune and Ernetti's story is definitely interesting, a lot of people believe it's either fabricated or exaggerated. However, others believe that it's not only real, but that the machine is still being used by the Vatican today. The Vatican has been known for their numerous secrets, so certain theorists believe that they are using this device to gain more power in the world. Number 4. Apex TV is a YouTube channel that speaks to an array of different people who claim to be from the future. While they have had many different people on their channel, one of the most recurring guests is a man named Noah. Noah's first video was made in 2017, and he claims to be a time traveler from the year 2030 who is stuck in present time. He also makes several predictions, the biggest being that time travel will be released to the public in 2028. He also states that the technology has been discovered, but it's being kept a secret.
Yeah, now we're finally getting to the good
Since this
stuff.
video has been released, Noah has made dozens of videos with Apex TV where he tries to prove that his story is true. In these videos, he does interviews, takes lie detector tests, and shows the audience things that are allegedly from the future, such as library pages, future maps of America, and nanotechnology. He also makes videos where he reveals the future of places like Canada, India, and the UK.
So
Sometimes
slime
it's
is from the
definitely hard
future.
to believe Noah's story,
Got it.
but if he is lying, he is going through a lot of effort to convince us otherwise. Videos about Noah are still being released today, so his story is ongoing, which means we should have more answers soon.
Hello to everybody who's watching me right now. I want to be clear while making this video. It is not my intent to deceive anybody. My sole objective is to prove to you that time travel exists in the next few years. In fact, I, myself, am a time traveler. I have traveled back to November 13th, 2017 from early in the year 2021. First of all of time travel will become possible in the year 2003. It is, however, only used by top secret organizations. The ability to time travel is not planned to be released to the public until 2028. I would like to give you specific facts about the future that'll prove to you
Hey,
time
9
travel
more years and we can time travel.
including who the President of the United States is in 2021. In just 4 years, you will see that my predictions are true. Then you'll come back to this video and know that time travel really does exist. In 2028, the private organizations will admit to the world that time travel is real, and it'll be open to the public. Now I will tell you the reality of our future. For one, electric cars and self-driving cars will be dramatically improved. A consumer
Well, they
electric
can't
car
really
will
get
be able
worse.
to drive over 600 miles on a single charge in 2021. Many people are spending a lot of their time in virtual reality. I would highly recommend investing your time and money in sustainable energy, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. AI will also be a huge and growing market in 2021.
Yeah, if he's a time traveler, where is his present self? Has his present self not been born yet? Oh, skip ad.
Henry is an incredible dog.
Look at the puppers, everyone.
Focused, and you can
Number 5. In 2013, a YouTube channel known as The Time Authority uploaded an interview with somebody who claimed to be a time traveler from the 30th century. The questions were apparently vetted by the time traveler himself so that nothing would drastically change in present day. He claims that he traveled to 2013 in a vehicle, but that time travel is possible.
He's
and
his own
available
dad.
in
Well, I
many
mean, at least
forms
he's
in
not
the
his own
future.
grandpa.
He also states that money will soon be non-existent, and that many different societies are soon going to collapse due to a number of impending catastrophes. The interviewer seems pretty unimpressed by the time traveler's answers, but he does answer each question quite rationally, which makes the video interesting to watch. There hasn't been much of an update on this interview as of yet, so it's hard to know what happened after this, but he did make some predictions that are supposed to happen soon, so I guess we'll soon find out whether he was telling the truth or not.
Can you give me a sense of what's going to happen in our future? I mean,
in your lifetime.
In my lifetime.
Money, as you know it, disappears relatively soon after this.
Okay.
But the end of money is actually a good thing. Your children and great-grandchildren will certainly see catastrophe.
So, these are these are terrible things that you're telling me.
When societies collapse, it's not pretty.
I was sort of under the impression that there was going to be a message of hope from the future.
Well, I'm here to tell you that limited resources, food, energy, what you would call money, exchange rates, those things are no longer limited.
Don't you think, though, that it would help, not just me, others, understand that this is real, what you're talking about, if we had some proof of time travel?
That's not what I agreed to in this interview. I agreed to talk to you about my experiences, and the messages that I'm here to see are getting out there. We know that what I'm doing, that the organization that I'm part of, the stuff we do works. And it's not for you to question our methods.
And that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos similar to this, you can subscribe down below. And if you want to see a part 2 of this video, you can let me know down below in the comments, and I might just make one. I will leave my Instagram and Twitter down below if you want to follow me over there, both of which are DeBerk321.
What else
But like
we
I said,
got?
that's all for now. As always,
Where is
until
my
next time.
cursor? Wrong screen.
Did you know that high blood sugar and
There's my
diabetes
cursor.
symptoms have nothing to do with eating carbs or sugar? Recently, a doctor from Arizona has uncovered a beta cell secret for fighting the real cause of high blood sugar and diminishing diabetes
Your
symptoms.
brain
He's
hallucinates
created
your
a short
conscious
video
reality.
presentation that reveals his
That's
research
gotta
in
be good.
full and
We're actually just hallucinating all of this. We'll see how this goes.
Just over a year
17
ago,
minutes. If we get too bored, we'll
For the
end
third
it.
time in my life, I ceased to exist. I was having a small operation. My brain was filling with anesthetic. I remember a sense of detachment and falling apart, coldness. And then I was back, drowsy and disoriented, but definitely there. Now, when you wake from a deep sleep, you might feel confused about the time or anxious about oversleeping, but there's always a basic sense of time having passed, of a
You see,
continuity
everyone
between
experiences
then and
it
now. And coming around from
everyone
anesthesia is very
experiences it
different. I could remember
simultaneously
5 minutes, 5
because
hours,
everyone
5
is
years,
your
or even 50
hallucination.
years. I simply wasn't there. It was totally
You're
oblivious.
hallucinating all of this. You're even hallucinating me
Anesthesia
in
is
this
a modern
stream.
kind of magic. It turns people into objects, and then we hope back again into people. And in this process is one of the greatest remaining mysteries in science and philosophy. How does consciousness happen? Somehow, Within each of our brains, the combined activity of many billions of neurons, each one
That's right. You
biological
did
machine,
good.
is generating
You did
a conscious
good.
experience. And not just any conscious experience, your conscious experience right here and right now. How does this happen? Well, answering this question is so important because consciousness for each of us is all there is. Without it, there's no world, there's no self, there's nothing at all. And when we suffer consciously, whether it's through mental illness or pain. And if we can experience joy and suffering, what about other animals? Might they be conscious too? Do they also have a sense of self?
It looks like someone
And
crossed a
as
hippo with an
computers get
octopus.
faster and smarter, maybe there'll come a point, maybe not too far away, when my iPhone develops a sense of its own existence. Now, I actually think the prospects for a conscious AI are pretty remote. And I think this because my research is telling me that consciousness has less to do with pure intelligence and more to do with our nature as living and breathing organisms. Consciousness and intelligence are very different things. You don't have to be smart to suffer, but you probably do have to be alive. In the story I'm going to tell you, our conscious experiences of the world around us and of ourselves within it are kinds of controlled hallucinations that happen with, through, and because of our living bodies. Now, you might have heard that we know nothing about how the brain and body give rise to consciousness. Some people even say it's beyond the reach of science altogether. But in fact, the last 25 years have seen an explosion of scientific work in this area. If you come to my lab at the University of Sussex, you'll find scientists from all different disciplines, and sometimes even philosophers, all of us together trying to understand how consciousness happens and what happens when it goes wrong. And the strategy is very simple. I'd like you to think about consciousness in the way that we've come to think about life. Now, at one time, people thought the property of being alive could not be explained by physics and chemistry, that life
Only a
had to be more than just mechanisms.
hippopotamos will do.
People no longer think that, as biologists got on with the job of explaining the properties of living systems in terms of physics and chemistry, things like metabolism, reproduction, and homeostasis. The basic mystery of what life is started to fade away, and people didn't propose any more magical solutions like a force of life or an élan vital. So as with life, so with consciousness. Once we start explaining its properties in terms of things happening inside brains and bodies, the apparently insoluble mystery of what consciousness is should start to fade away. At least that's the plan. So let's get started. What are the properties of consciousness? What should a science of consciousness try to explain? Well, for today, I'd just like to think of consciousness in two different ways. There are experiences of the world around us, full of sights, sounds, and smells, this multisensory, panoramic, 3D, fully immersive inner movie. And then there's conscious self, the specific experience of being you or being me, the lead character in this inner movie, and probably the aspect of consciousness we all cling to most tightly. Let's start with experiences of the world around us, and with the important idea of the brain as a prediction engine. Now, imagine being a brain. You're locked inside a bony